Do you like this place, Ben? Snoke said, gesturing towards the hostile environment before them. All around them grew various species of carnivorous vegetation thriving in the transparent biome that floated in unknown space. It's interesting, Snoke, replied Ben, his eyes falling to the scattered bones that lay strewn across the ground. I am very fond of it. The people who built it were trying to hold back the dark. That was the entire point, to create an oasis of light here in the great shadow, Snoke said, lifting his hand with his palm towards the sky. You see how well it worked. You see how well it worked. You see what denying the nature of things brought them. Turning his head towards a vertical growth of vines, Snoke drew on the shadow. Turning his head towards a vertical growth of vines, Snoke drew on the shadow and caused the vines to separate, revealing the skeletal remains of the biome's previous inhabitants. But you were asking of the Knights of Ren, Snoke said, seeming to return his focus from some distant memory. I think I could learn from them, Ben stammered, sounding less sure of himself than he thought. Yes, perhaps. The Knights would be a good stop on your journey. There is so much I can teach you. At the very least, you would no longer need to deny yourself the way Luke Skywalker required, Snoke said with an air of repugnance in his voice that seemed to be directed at Luke Skywalker and the Jedi Order as a whole. But I should say Ben Solo, Jedi to be, Snoke said mockingly. The Knights of Ren might not be interested in him. Ben snapped his head around and said, I hate that name. The disgust plain in his voice. Oh, why is that? You are named after legends, Snoke said, every word dripping with pretentiousness. Ben knew that Snoke had nothing but disdain for the legends, as he put it. That's exactly it, Snoke. That's exactly it, Snoke. Obi-Wan Kenobi, big famous Jedi. Everyone thinks I'm supposed to be him. I've never even met him. And Solo? Did you know that's not even his real name? He's a lie. Everything is a lie, Ben uttered, clenching his fist, his feeling of betrayal clearly written across his face. Transmission coming from General Hux, Master. The droid beeped as his four insect-like legs crawled towards Snoke. I see. Tell Brendel, whatever it is, will have to wait. I am in the midst of an important conversation. Acknowledged, the droid affirmed. What did the droid mean? Who is General Hux? Ben said curiously. I may not be the most social being in the galaxy, but you're not my only friend, Ben, Snoke said in mock humility. In any case, let us speak no more of lies. What is your true name? Snoke said, grabbing a handful of Ben's hair and running it through his fingers, as though the truth he was seeking could be found. As though the truth he was seeking could be found somewhere in its fibers. The Knights will want you to take it. If they let you join them. It is the way of the dark side. We we embrace it fully, we become our truest selves. I was not born Snoke, I became Snoke. I was not born Snoke, I became Snoke. I was not born Snoke, I became Snoke. He turned, spreading his arms as if in declaration to this silent but deadly vegetation of the biome. Who will you become? Snoke said, pointing at Ben. Oh, yes, I see it in your mind. That is good, very good. No, it's something stupid I thought of when I was a child, Ben declared, dismissing the idea. Ben declared, dismissing the idea that filled his mind. That is why it is correct. Children's thoughts are pure. They don't practice self-deception. They are who they are. Snoke said again, using the dark side to manipulate the vines of an adjacent plant. Snoke said again, using the dark side to manipulate the vines of an adjacent plant. Snoke said again, using the dark side to manipulate the vines of an adjacent plant. Snoke said, using the dark side to manipulate the vines of an adjacent plant to wrap around some nearby humanoid remains. And when you call yourself by that name, you saw your truth. It represents what you do on a deep level. The part of you want to cut away. The part you want to kill. Then suddenly the vines tightened with such a force that the bones shattered, shards flying in all directions. Perhaps someday you will do it. Perhaps someday you will do it, Snoke said, turning his attention back to Ben. The galaxy will hear the name and fear you. The Knights of Ren could be that first step on your path. The Knights of Ren could be that first step on that. The Knights of Ren could be that first step on that. The Knights of Ren could be your first step on that path. The Knights of Ren could be your first step on that path. They always seek powerful people to join their ranks. But be warned, the price of admission is steep. But be warned, the price of admission is steep. But be warned, the price of admission is steep. Snoke said, lifting a cracked skull as if to emphasize his point. I don't care. I'll pay it, Ben said resolutely. Can you tell me where they are? No. Locating the knights will... No. Locating the knights is part of your task. A way to prove yourself worthy. Think of every hour you know about them. Think of everything you know about them. You told me you met them once, did you not? Begin there. When you do find them, my friend, you must not fail. When you find them, my friend, you must not fail. You will join the knights, or you will die.